Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Being definitely out of the ordinary and unexpected, slightly odd or even a bit weird. Not commonly encountered. Two career families are no longer unusual. Not usual or common or ordinary. A scene of unusual beauty. Not known before. Used many strange words. Relating to or originating in or characteristic of another place or part of the world. Being definitely out of the ordinary and unexpected, slightly odd or even a bit weird. A strange exaltation that was indefinable. Suggesting the operation of supernatural influences. The Three Weird Sisters. Fate personified. Any one of the three weird sisters. Strikingly odd or unusual. Some trick of the moonlight, some weird effect of shadow. Ludicrously odd. Hamlet's assumed antic disposition. Act as or like a clown. A ludicrous or grotesque act done for fun and amusement. Affected with madness or insanity. Foolish. Totally unsound. A crazy scheme. Someone deranged and possibly dangerous. Intensely enthusiastic about or preoccupied with. Crazy about cars and racing. Bizarre or fantastic. Had a crazy dream. Possessed by inordinate excitement. The crowd went crazy. Beyond or deviating from the usual or expected. A curious hybrid accent. Eager to investigate and learn or learn more, sometimes about others' concerns. A curious child as a teacher's delight. A style of architecture developed in northern France that spread throughout Europe between the 12th and 16th centuries, characterized by slender vertical piers and counterbalancing buttresses and by vaulting and pointed arches. As if belonging to the Middle Ages, old-fashioned and unenlightened. A heavy typeface in use from 15th to 18th centuries. Characterized by gloom and mystery and the grotesque. Gothic novels like Frankenstein. Extinct East Germanic language of the ancient Goths, the only surviving record being fragments of a 4th century translation of the Bible by Bishop Ulfilas. Characteristic of the style of type commonly used for printing German. Of or relating to the language of the ancient Goths. Of or relating to the Goths. Ludicrously odd. A grotesque reflection in the mirror. Distorted and unnatural in shape or size, abnormal and hideous. Tales of grotesque serpents 8 fathoms long that churned the seas. Art characterized by an incongruous mixture of parts of humans and animals interwoven with plants. Beyond or deviating from the usual or expected. Had an odd name. Of the remaining member of a pair. An odd glove. Not divisible by 2. Not used up. Some odd dollars left. An indefinite quantity more than that specified. Invited 30-odd guests. Not easily explained. It is odd that his name is never mentioned. Somewhat strange. Belonging to the distant past. In other times. Not the same one or ones already mentioned or implied. Today isn't any other day. Recently passed. The other evening. Very unusual. Different in character or quality from the normal or expected. A strange, other dimension where his powers seem to fail. Beyond or deviating from the usual or expected. The peculiar aromatic odor of cloves. Unique or specific to a person or thing or category. A peculiar bond of sympathy between them. Characteristic of one only. Distinctive or special. The peculiar character of the government of the U.S. Markedly different from the usual. A peculiar hobby of stuffing and mounting bats. Attractively old-fashioned, but not necessarily authentic. Houses with quaint thatched roofs. Strange in an interesting or pleasing way. Quaint dialect words. Very strange or unusual. Odd or even incongruous in character or appearance. The head terminating in the quaint duck bill which gives the animal its vernacular name. Beyond or deviating from the usual or expected. Something definitely queer about this town. Offensive term for a homosexual man. Put in a dangerous, disadvantageous, or difficult position. Homosexual or arousing homosexual desires. Hinder or prevent, the efforts, plans, or desires, of. Beyond or deviating from the usual or expected. What a rum fellow. A card game based on collecting sets and sequences. The winner is the first to meld all their cards. Liquor distilled from fermented molasses. Beyond or deviating from the usual or expected. A chronic drinker. A card game based on collecting sets and sequences. The winner is the first to meld all their cards. Beyond or deviating from the usual or expected. Singular behavior. Unusual or striking. Such poise is singular in one so young. The form of a word that is used to denote a singleton. The single one of its kind. A singular example. Being a single and separate person or thing. Can the singular person be understood apart from his culture? Composed of one member, set, or kind. Grammatical number category referring to a single item or unit. Inspiring a feeling of fear, strange and frightening. An uncomfortable and eerie stillness in the woods. Suggestive of the supernatural, mysterious. An eerie feeling of déjà vu. Inspiring a feeling of fear, strange and frightening. Being or from or characteristic of another place or part of the world. Exotic plants in a greenhouse. Strikingly strange or unusual. An exotic hairstyle. Ludicrously odd. Fantastic Halloween costumes. Fanciful and unrealistic, foolish. A fantastic idea of his own importance. Existing in fancy only. Fantastic figures with bulbous heads the circumference of a bushel. Extraordinarily good or great, used especially as intensifiers. A fantastic trip to the Orient. Extravagantly fanciful in design, construction, appearance. Gothic fantastic architecture. Ludicrously odd. Existing in fancy only. conspicuously or grossly unconventional or unusual, strange and somewhat frightening. The whole experience was really freaky. An account of an amusing incident, usually with a punchline. She told a funny story. Beyond or deviating from the usual or expected. Her speech has a funny twang. Not as expected. Up to some funny business. Arousing or provoking laughter. Funny stories that made everybody laugh. Experiencing odd bodily sensations. Told the doctor about the funny sensations in her chest. Marked by an uncommon quality, especially superlative or extreme of its kind. An uncommon sense of humor. Not common or ordinarily encountered, unusually great in amount or remarkable in character or kind. Uncommon birds. Improper or even offensive. Out-of-the-way remarks. Exceptional, unusual, or remarkable. Out-of-the-way information. Dealt with, disposed of. Remote from populous or much-traveled regions. They found a quiet out-of-the-way resort. Exceptionally or unusually good. Exceptional, unusual, or remarkable. Improper or even offensive. Exceptional, unusual, or remarkable. Dealt with, disposed of. I'm so relieved that my midterm is out of the way. Remote from populous or much-traveled regions. Radically distinctive and without equal. Bach was unique in his handling of counterpoint. The single one of its kind. The unique existing example of Don's handwriting. Followed by to, applying exclusively to a given category or condition or locality. A species unique to Australia. Highly unusual or rare but not the single instance. Spoke with a unique accent. Differing from all others, not ordinary. Advertising that strives continually to be different. Distinctly separate from the first. That's another, or different, issue altogether. Distinct or separate. Each interviewed different members of the community. Unlike in nature or quality or form or degree. Took different approaches to the problem. Unusual or unfamiliar. An unaccustomed pleasure.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.